Hello, Soul Sanctuary friends, YouTube friends. Welcome to a little intention setting video with me, Kat Meffan. So I believe that I have a very, very good formula for setting goals and intentions, especially when we move into a new year. And that's something that I want to share with you in this video today. Now, you can absolutely do it with me, grab a pen and paper, or you can just watch this video, take away some ideas and do it at a time that feels a little bit more settled and more grounded for you. Now, from a soul sanctuary point of view, the new year always means that we start with our Yoganuary journey, which is a 31-day yoga journey. And so if you're a soul sanctuary member and you're watching this video, then I really do recommend doing this in line with the new theme that we're about to go into, our in transit theme, and really grounding down, finding your intentions, finding your goals, and working through this with me. If you're not a Soul Sanctuary member, but that all sounds quite interesting to you, then I'll leave all the details in the description box of this YouTube video, and you can come and join us. Like I said, it's a 31-day yoga, meditation, sound, community-driven journey that should really hopefully just light you up from the inside out, leave you feeling with a sense of presence, a sense of confidence, letting go of any overwhelm that comes with that kind of whole new year, new me message. That let's just let go of that. So new year, same you, but a little bit more magic maybe to go with the you that you are stepping into 2023 with. So this little formula that I have developed has 5 steps to it, and we're going to work through those 5 steps. I'm going to talk you through them, and like I say, you kind of take what feels good for you, take what resonates, and you can leave the rest behind. You don't have to follow this necessarily step by step, but if you do feel called to, then like I say, grab your pen and paper. So those 5 steps are to ground, so we're going to do that together in a moment, to ground, and to affirm, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Then we journal, and we'll have our pen and paper and we'll journal. We take time to reflect, and then we visualize. So they're the 5 things, okay? So that's what we'll be working through today. So just for a moment, let's ground here together. And if you're unsure what I mean by that, don't worry. Just get yourself into just a comfortable seated position, no matter where you are, because I'm going to be writing. I'm sat at my desk, but I can absolutely do a little bit of grounding here. So close down your eyes. And maybe just place one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart space. And for a moment, just checking in with your breath. And not taking or placing any judgment on the breath, just allowing it to float around your body, dance around your body in its most natural rhythm. Finding moments of observation for how that breath feels. And let's take 3 releasing breaths here together, taking an inhale. And let it go. And again, breathing in. And let it go. One more like that, inhale. And let it go. And maybe just releasing the hands down into the lap. Rolling the shoulders back. Just feeling the crown of the head rise all the way up to the sky. And we affirm with, I am here. And that is all we need to affirm right now in our body, in our breath, in our emotions. Whatever is alive for you, whatever emotion is coming up for you, wherever your thoughts are being pushed and pulled at this very moment, if you can, just try to draw into yourself right now the words, quite simply, I am here. And even if it feels good to say it out loud, you could say it out loud. If it feels good to write those words down on a piece of paper, then write them down. But we affirm ourselves into the present moment because in order to be able to set goals and intentions, we need to feel grounded in the moment. I am here. And if the eyes are closed, you can flutter them open, just roll the shoulders back. And whilst you go throughout your goal and intention setting journey today, at any time you start to go off-piste and go off into different narratives, different tangents, just allow yourself to draw yourself back into just, I am here. Come back to the breath, come back to the body, come back to those words. So we've grounded, we have affirmed, and then we journal. Now, depending on what kind of person you are with this method, with this little formula, you may want to journal in an actual journal, something that is very private, something that stays kind of with you, stays closed a lot of the time. Or you may, like me, want to get a big piece of paper. And this is going to be something that once I've filled it in, I am going to pin to my corkboard so that I see it. Now, what we need to remember is that a habit, we're told a habit takes 30 days to create. A habit actually can take up to, I think it's something like 250 days to create. So it's anything between 21 days and we'll say 250. It's somewhere around that number. So if we think about, well, just writing things down, closing our journal and never looking at them again, that might not be enough for us. It might be that you need to have the reminder every day, kind of like a vision board, but we're going to have a little written goals board and intentions board today. So let's just talk about the difference, or at least the difference for me between a goal and an intention. So a goal for me is the physical outcome. So what is the thing or what is it that I plan on doing? And then the intention is deeper than that. The intention goes deeper and it's really coming into the why. What is it that I'm offering to either myself, to the people around me? What is it that I'm creating? Where is my passion coming into this? And so the goal and the intention, they're not two different things. They are just different variations of the same thing. So for each goal, there's also an intention. And then we obviously want to have a little look at the fears and the challenges that come into that, because if we aren't honest with ourselves about what those fears and challenges could be, it's very easy to think that we can just put a goal in place and then it will just happen. But if we're not honest about the challenges that might arise, then how can we kind of be ready for them when they arise? And then obviously we want to have a look at time as well. We need to be both optimistic and realistic with our goals and intentions when it comes to timing. So that's how I lay mine out. So you can see here, I've got my goals, I've got intention, I've got fears, and I've got time. And you could add more things to this. There might be more things that come in. And for each of my goals, I will also fill out my intention within that goal, my fears and challenges within that goal, and also the time in which I would love for that goal to come to fruition. And there may not be a time attached to it. Don't feel like you have to fill that one in. Sometimes a lot of people like to have an end date. They like to have, when is that going to come to fruition? When's that going to come to completion? But obviously, if it's putting in place a daily ritual or a daily habit, then that can be ongoing. But allow yourself to actually write it in. This is an ongoing goal. This is a goal of my life. This is an intention for my whole future. So just allow yourself to have those words written there. Now, the one thing that sometimes we don't take into account when setting goals and intentions is that we forget that there is a lot at play with life in general. There are a lot of external and environmental impacts that could actually affect or hinder our goal setting and our intention setting. So today, when you actually come to have a little think about what you want your goals to be, try to think about things that can directly be within your control. So things maybe to do with you taking another risk in your career, maybe quitting a job and starting a new one. Maybe your goal is to spend more time with family. Obviously, with every single goal, there's always going to be external factors, but starting a daily meditation practice, that's something that you are very much in control of. And we often put, external excuses on things, but there's knowing the difference between an external reality that could be outside of our control versus an external excuse, which a lot of us obviously just put in place and hope that we can just blame the external excuse and not have to think about it anymore. So let's take just a little moment here to have a little think about what your goal could be. So I'm not going to sit and leave you with no guidance for the next kind of 10 minutes. Obviously, like I say, I want you to be able to continue with this exercise. But just for a moment, for the next few minutes, we are going to have a little bit of time writing down and maybe just even think about what one goal could be. For those of you obviously doing the Yoganuary journey, your goal could be to complete Yoganuary. And your intention could be within that to come to Yoganuary with an open heart and an open mind, with the intention to just honor yourself and your body. And obviously, I'm just merely suggesting things. Your fears could be that in the past, maybe you found yoga and movement to be a little bit emotional, and maybe you don't want to feel emotional. Maybe you want to avoid that emotion. So there could be a fear there. Maybe there is a fear and a challenge around not having enough time. So writing that down, how can you schedule more time for yourself, those 30 minutes every day, to honor yourself? And then the time, some of you may decide that you want to complete Yoganuary within the 31 days. Amazing. But maybe some of you might say, actually, do you know what? I want to have until the end of March to complete Yoganuary. And you maybe do 5 practices a week for the next 3 months and just see how you get on there. So just have a look. That was just one example for those of you that are doing the Yoganuary journey. Obviously, if you're not, if you've got numerous other goals that you want to write down, then have a little moment writing those down now. And we'll just have kind of a minute or two here. So I know that you won't necessarily have finished writing and filling in all of your little spaces, but something that I just want to say before you do finish is remember that not every goal needs to be this big life-changing goal. We obviously have this kind of preconceived idea that when we set a goal, it needs to be, wow, I did this thing. And it absolutely can be, but it can also be very, very small and, a minor change in your life that will have a big impact. And maybe even just for this first time that you're doing this formula, you could just write down words in each of them. So as an example, just to kind of give you an example of how short it can be for now, and I would love for you to evolve and expand on what you've written. But one of my goals for 2023 is to learn to play the guitar. Now, my intention behind that is kind of double. My intention is to have fun and be playful, but also to be able to draw in another healing vibration into my life and into my teachings. Now, my fears around that and my challenges is my ego and being a beginner and knowing that there may be times where I want to quit, and sitting with that and being okay with that. And then my time for my guitar is for the whole year. So I've put 2023 as a whole year, but to have continuous lessons and to continue learning throughout. So that's just one of mine. And that's an example of kind of how you can just pick certain words to come into each category. It doesn't need to be really, really deep to begin with. But then what I would love you to do is that step 4 of this formula is to reflect. So we take a moment now. So obviously, like I say, if you want to pause me and you want to continue writing, then absolutely do that. So we take a pause at this point and we find a moment to reflect. And we're reflecting, we're just having a little look at what we've written. So I've got my words here in front of me. And we just take a moment to reflect on what we've written, to see maybe if there's anything that you would like to add. And know as well that January isn't the only time that you can set goals. We have this thing where we feel like we must set a goal in January. You can add to this. And that is the beauty of seeing it every day. And we'll talk about that in a moment, of seeing it every day, because then we get to add and to make changes as we move throughout the year. But we just take this time to reflect on what we've written now and just see if there's anything that instantly comes to us that you may want to. And you could close your eyes for that. And then the 5th stage of this formula is the visualization. And now that is what happens after you've done this. The visualization, you can absolutely turn this goal and intention setting into more of a vision board and get specific with it. So you could add pictures to this, you could add doodles, you could add cutouts from things, you could print off pictures, photos, anything like that to make it more visual. But I also want to invite you to visualize this in your mind's eye as well. So not just seeing it on the piece of paper, but each day when you walk past this, hopefully, if you do pin it up, each day when you walk past this, you maybe just take 2 minutes to stand in front of the words. Everything is energy, right? And you may or may not believe that, but everything is energy. So when these words have energy built into them, they resonate with you in a particular way. So when you read a certain word, it's going to feel a certain way to you, and that will be different to the next person. So each day when you maybe get up and you walk past this board, and maybe in time that will dwindle and maybe it will be just 2 seconds, but I really want to invite you to take a moment to visualize. So you close down the eyes and maybe you pick just one of the goals. You don't need to visualize every single thing, but you pick one of them that maybe feels quite present for you in that moment on that day, and you breathe in. And as you breathe in, this breathing in, you are visualizing this energy. You're visualizing this confidence and this power that you have, that you've cultivated within yourself. And then you exhale, ground into your feet and feel the safety and security of knowing that you have the roots and the power and the grace to go forth in whatever that goal or whatever that intention connected to the goal is. And then you just take a few breaths, grounding here and visualizing in your mind's eye, going on a little bit of journey. And not just thinking, but feeling. So we have obviously the head, the brain, but we have the heart and we have the gut as well. Those are very important. We talk a lot about heart and head. The gut is really, really important, especially for where our emotion comes in. So in these visualizing moments, don't just think it. I want to invite you to go deeper than that. I want to invite you to feel it in your body. Feel it in your heart space, feel it in your gut, feel it on your hips and your pelvis, feel it grounding into your feet. Now that might sound a little bit woo-woo and a little bit weird for some people, but just try it. Come with an open mind and see how that feels for you. So that is the 5-step formula that I have little old me has created for setting your goals and intentions. Obviously, if you need to go back and see how I've laid that out, please do just rewind back, have a little look. But we have our grounding. We want to affirm into the here and now with I am here. We have our writing and our journaling, which is what we just did together. We have our reflecting, just to checking over, just seeing is there anything I want to add, reflecting on the words that you've shared. And then we have our visualizing, and that happens after today. That happens when you've pinned it up or you're flicking through your journal tomorrow and you see it again. So I really hope that this formula works as well for you as it has done for me. Journaling, writing has been such a massive part of my healing journey, such a huge part of my goal journey, a huge part of my business journey as well. So I really hope that this is something that you try. Like I said, this is very much linked to Yoganuary, which is the 31-day yoga journey on the Soul Sanctuary. So some of you will be watching this as Soul Sanctuary members like, yeah, Kat, I'm already here. I'm already doing it. Those of you watching this on YouTube who haven't joined the Soul Sanctuary, you can sign up today for the 7-day free trial and then pay $14.99 for the month of January. And you'll get a new practice every single day. And you will be entered into an epic giveaway, and you don't even need to do anything other than become a member during January. So I really recommend doing it. Thank you so much for giving up a bit of your time and gifting yourself with this time to set your goals and your intentions for 2023. I truly believe that this formula is amazing, and I hope that you find it really, really beneficial as well. So thank you so much for watching. Leave me a little comment, anything like that, coming over to the Soul Sanctuary community. Let me know how you get on with this. And I will see you for Yoganuary day 1 very, very soon. Bye-bye.